All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for My Hero Academia, Season 3, Episode 15. Whew. Yeah.
All right. They have their ultimate techniques. Oh, yeah, and Hatsume Mei.
And Hatsume Mei, we are into Deku's new kind of evolution of using One for All via his legs.
One might say he developed a new Hatsu technique thanks to some insight from Hatsume Mei.
Wow, that was horribly amazing. So, we have legs, which is cool.
Yeah,
that is a new development.
So now
other than
plot
that,
thread.
Other than that, though, I kind of just want to see kind of when they'll start introducing new characters.
Sure.
They're going after the provisional licenses.
Yes.
We have to kind of see like what's going to be the next stage of the journey,
right?
In terms of conflict. Because I don't really see there being much conflict
with the villains.
No. Just with getting an exam kind of test thing kind of done. So
yeah, who knows? But it could be pretty crazy.
It might be more along the lines of a competition, and then it will be a little bit easier for there to be a semblance of conflict, if you will. But yeah, guys, we're ready for this next episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. Ooh.
All right. This is a cool thing that we're getting here.
All right. Like, so this is the kind of thing that most live action shows just can't do. It terrifies them.
Right, exactly.
Right. It's really funny how it boils down to, well, we're an animated project.
Yep.
So let's just show all these characters doing awesome stuff.
Exactly.
With other characters doing awesome stuff.
And the thing is, for live action, yeah, because special effects totally make sense. For anime, still, it is very rare that you'll ever have something where you get to see all these different characters with all these different abilities using them at the same time.
Now, cleverly, MHA didn't do that.
Right, they would cut between the different frames of showing the different people and how they deflected the very stupid attack of everyone just throwing all their balls at the very beginning.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful that, since this is a manga adaptation, the individual panels are probably relatively small, so they can't have everyone doing complex things in a panel.
Right.
But maybe we'll have one or two where some really cool stuff happens all simultaneously, or the anime adaptation blends together multiple panels into the same shot to save on either runtime or just to show how awesome the animation could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacob's got a point. Like, why did they throw away all the balls early?
They only have 6 of them, and
Now, here's where it could be, is that they only have 6 of them, but maybe that was actually like 100 people all throwing one.
Yeah, that's totally what it could be, and they're just like, okay, we'll just volley them, but even then, you need to hit a precise spot, so it doesn't even matter if you hit the person, you need to hit the exact spot. So that doesn't seem like it would be a good idea, but maybe there's something where like they can reclaim their balls later or something, so they're basically depositing them that way. They, like, if someone has like some sort of other ability that just sort of knocks them around everywhere, or who knows.
What you'd want is to treat this like a cavalry battle, like they did in the tournament. You want to have teams of 3 and 4, and someone that's really fast and someone that's an immobilizer, and you want to have the fast person actually hold all the balls. And you want to have the immobilizer come in quickly while the other person is distracted by the other two.
Yeah,
they immobilize the person and just tag the balls exactly where they need to go,
because you would not want to throw them, because even if they can reclaim them or whatever, or maybe they can use like other balls, as like ammunition. They don't have to be their own. That's totally what it could be, and it's just based on who throws it. There's still the issue that you can run out of ammo, and then you would have to basically pick up more. And if you throw your ammo, you are giving your ammunition to the other side. So like Mineta with his like string of like purple balls, like that could potentially be so stupidly broken, because then he just swings it around and he'll wrap people up in it because it's sticky, right? And then like a bolus, it'll just end up like
Mineta in a team of 2 or more is insanely powerful. Because all you need to do is have him stick one person once. And they're stuck there. And even if they have their quirk or whatever, you don't care about what they do to you with their quirk. So like it just matters what the balls.
Ida could just pick him up, right? If he manages to stick one person, Ida picks him up, runs in a circle around that person that's been stuck. Everyone in that radius is stuck too.
Now it does increase the weight of the drag on the the balls, which are connected to Mineta.
Right,
so
yeah.
Mineta might not be able to hold on.
Yeah. So you wouldn't, like, you'd want to have there be slack. You wouldn't want to keep it, like, taut and stuff. So be conservative with that. But that's something Ida would be able to, take into account of there. So
this is just one of those examples of where, like the tournament arc, we get to see some really clever thinking from the groups, like the mini groups.
Right.
But we also were introduced to a small addition of characters. Yeah. There weren't a lot that were focused on. It was really just the new Tanaka Ida guy and his like over the top just introduction.
Right.
And I love characters that are needlessly passionate.
Like, I love how his knees had to like buckle and like turn so that he could actually bow that low. Like,
it was hilarious.
That's
great. And he's kind of the leader of their group there.
Yeah.
And he's got even some history, some little bits of backstory. So they're going to be invested in his character.
Right. And then there's the Deku like guy that is actually very sneaky that Bakugo saw through.
Right. Who's coming at them with all this warmth and kind of flattery.
Right.
But is actually more of a devious person. And that's fun. That's fun.
Yep.
I do notice a little bit of the character design starting to seem a little bit similar to other characters that we've seen in the past, which is fine. It's fine. You have so many characters.
And I would love to see maybe a female character that is more of the take charge leader type, because we haven't really seen many of those yet.
Well, we had the cute girl from the opening, which we saw with the Tanaka Ida new guy.
That's true.
And she at the very least was given a focal point of interest in the opening, so I could see her being relevant in the story.
And they introduced the joke character.
Her character is the best of all the ones they've introduced.
And granted, that's easy because they gave her the most time and everything, and she's interacting with Aizawa, which like automatically makes her
she's
amazing. Gonna be better.
But like that quirk is insane. It's
terrifying.
It's light Shinso ability.
Yeah, but AoE.
But anyone that hears it.
Right. And is there any kind of basically condition for how like it needs to affect them? I'm pretty sure it's just
No, I think the reason
aura,
why
basically.
It's just a thing that she does is because the effect is not as definite, meaning that it slows their mind, dulls their thinking, and makes them generally more, happy and laughy.
Yeah, and maybe
just,
slower to react. And,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that ability, just existing in this world, is just like, okay, thank you. Because, we watched JoJo's, right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing I'd expect in a JoJo's style thing.
It really is.
It's so silly. It's so over the top. It's so magnetic. Like I just say that to trigger the magnet people, but it's so like attractive in that people who interact with this ability or with her, Miss Joke, they would kind of be like, oh yeah, I like spending time around her.
And it
stuff.
makes so much sense then why she would be in love with Aizawa. Because her power doesn't work on him because he can just turn it off. Right?
So she feels a genuine connection potential with him.
Yeah, potential. That's the key word there.
Potential.
Yeah. Right. Which is probably, I mean, if you think about it, that's got to be tough because in kind of a same way, but like maybe a bit more like dumbed down than for Shinso, because how do you have like real meaningful connections with people when
they always laugh, they always find your jokes fun, they always enjoy your presence because there's something telepathically willing them to.
Because we don't know how exactly she uses it. It might be something that's always active. It might be something that like who knows.
It's probably an audio based quirk because I want to pull back my telepathic thing. Is that they've generally made a point that all quirks have some kind of physical aspect to them. Yeah. Even Shinso's quirk is technically an audio-based quirk. In that they need to respond, give some kind of vocal response.
Yes.
And that triggers a switch in their brain.
The closest I would almost say would actually be Todoroki.
Oh.
No, because, President Mike too, but he has to actually, like, speak. With Todoroki, we just see him...
too.
Well, yeah, but with Todoroki, we've seen where he basically just decides, I'm using my quirk, and then it happens, but it at least, like, comes out of his body, right? So there's that aspect to it, too.
Curious.
Like, okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
But,
we have a whole bunch of characters introduced. Mm-hmm. We'll probably have to go and make sure we got all the names and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
The guy who was like Ida Tanaka, kind of hybrid, his name was it was like Inasa or something like that.
I believe so, yeah.
But
and they said apparently he's supposed to be considered
really like he scored higher than Todoroki.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Bakugo beat Todoroki because Todoroki is not that clever with how he uses his quirk. He just relies on how strong it is. So this guy is someone who's probably not only strong, but he's probably mastered his quirk, kind of in the same way Bakugo has.
Okay.
So I would consider actually the main person that we would look at this guy being a kind of a threat to is basically Bakugo, because Bakugo is kind of the strongest 1A class member in terms of just overall general stats and stuff like that.
The one you would least want to like fight against.
If you were going to go up against any of them one-on-one, Bakugo would be very near like the bottom of the list of like who you'd want to meet in a dark alley, basically.
Now that was one of the things that I really liked about how they set this up, is that Bakugo and Todoroki, they're like, well, our quirks work better like, when we're by ourselves, because Todoroki, like, what's he gonna do? That would be cool if suddenly the people are all encroaching on UA, and then suddenly this ice blast just covers like 100 of them.
Yeah, but I really don't see how Todoroki can be beaten unless like a crack team of like 5 people go and like hard counter him.
Right.
But I would love to see that. That would be really cool.
What would actually be really cool? This is what I want to see.
Okay.
Now they might not do this because of how they set this up, right?
Right.
But Bakugo and Todoroki would actually be a pretty badass team.
I feel like they do too much just AoE splash.
But that's the idea, is that they wouldn't be like going next to each other, but they would just basically be
20 feet away from each other.
They'd be coordinating their AoE stuff, right? So that while one of them is blasting one direction, the other person's blasting the other direction.
But they're not trying to kill everyone, Jacob.
Well, yeah, Bakugo might be.
Bakugo I think is actually going to just do fantastically well this time, because all he has to do is he's go into hunter. We'll go into hunter-killer mode.
Right.
Like basically, basically the quirks that are going to be the best here are the ones that are stealthy.
Yep.
The ones that are fast, and the ones that have no real like mobility restrictions.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of them out there, like poor Coda, for instance, where it's going to be like absolutely useless. Just completely.
But then people
useless.
like Sero, Mineta, Toru, they're going to be
fantastic.
They're going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And the problem is that this Battle Royale is not like the zone encroaching in on you thing where you just have to survive and hide in a bush. No, with this, you need to be one of the first 100 people to get 2 kills.
Right.
So
that favors the attackers.
And it also sets itself up for betrayals. So here's where things get a little bit dicey. Let's say they announce when someone gets,
and then people are like, oh no, there's only like 20 more people that can get in, and then suddenly Mineta's like,
yep. I'm serious, guys. Like, we're gonna see the groups slowly splinter into smaller and smaller groups. But another thing that I think they brought up was, the number only being 100 out of 1540.
Yeah,
like that's a very small number.
Yes.
But what that also sets up for is instead of having it be a thing where all of our favorite students are going to make it in, we could be seeing a lot of our favorite students, our 1A students, not get in.
Right.
And it could be the story of what happens to those that don't pass this test.
Well, yeah, because they could have it so that it's like, well, and to be fair, because most of them are staying in groups, that means that it is way more likely that we could have a situation where all 20 UA students make it in, because everyone's focusing them, so more opportunities, and if they stick together, then hey, they could do okay, so long as they don't get eliminated. But 20% of the total people passing coming from, like just the one class,
Yeah.
That's, you know.
Yeah. Wait, where did you get the 20% number from?
Because 100 people are passing, and there's 20 people in UA in 1A.
20% of the people that pass are from one class, potentially.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just going to go out there and say that it was kind of funny to hear them say, like, I think it was Sue who gave, like, the wrong math and be like, that's 1% of the class. I was like, you realize 100 goes into 1540. 15 times.
15.4 times.
So it's more than 1%.
I didn't actually see that.
You didn't see that? No. That kind of triggered me. I was like, all right, they're 15. They're bad at math. So anyways, it's just a really silly thing. But we have, the whole Battle Royale situation. I could see the UA group being like, oh, we're going to split up. And then when they split up and stuff, then you won't have the everyone from UA makes it in. You'll have like the, 15 from UA make it in, 18 make it in, or like 7 make it in or something.
Here's a good question, actually. Toru, I'm pretty sure she should actually be away from, like, she should split if she hasn't already.
Totally.
Like, she might have already and they just didn't notice,
Yes, but she has to hold all her balls.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's true.
And she was technically with Momo and Sue, because Momo deployed like some like guard cool. Like wall
like
things,
some barricades.
Those were legit.
Shields, yeah.
The other thing that I noticed that was kind of cool was, I think it was Sero. Sero was extremely precise with his tape and stuff. But I keep forgetting that it's tape. So it has a sticky adhesive aspect to it.
Right.
So he could be an ammo gatherer.
Yep.
It's basically an idea I had.
Right, yeah, because it's not as sticky as, say, Minetta's.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole
with
deal.
Minetta's, you like remove ammo from the game entirely.
Right. Well, and you add it to your repertoire of your whip, basically.
Oh, that's true, but it won't remove from the sticky balls to the other person's thing and to detach. So
right, it'll just keep them attached. Maybe it depends on what the what the strength is, the adhesive strength of the balls to the receivers is.
Right. But I feel like this next sequence or whatever is basically just going to be them being like, have you thought about this combination? Have you thought about this quirk combination? Have you thought about these people working together? And then revealing of new quirks for these new characters that we have.
And they'll be able to not only reveal them like that, but they will be able to reveal so many. Literally, there is
and
like
not
no
explain
limit.
them. Like,
exactly.
Please, I remember how we started getting more and more kind of, title card little like.
Oh yeah, sure. Just to help
like,
people remember what people's quirks are. Yeah.
Right. But I just want to see. I just want to see colors and craziness all over the place. Just all that stuff, and be like, yeah, we don't need to explain what Red Lightning person over there is doing, or this other person that seems to have like tapestry like cloth going like everywhere in a whirlwind or something. I'm just thinking of like dumb random things.
I basically imagine this as being like at like those summer camps, right?
Right.
Where you have the two armies of people with pillows, right? And they just sort of run at each other, and people just start like falling over. But you don't if you look at it from far away, you're just like, wow, yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
No idea what's going on. How long do you think this test will last in terms of episodes?
I would say maybe no more than 4. I don't think.
Okay.
It could. Like, they could do more than that, because this is a very big setup.
I have no idea.
Like, they could go for a full 6 if they wanted to. I mean, like...
Wow.
I don't know.
Here's my thing. I look at this, and I am confused. Like, I have never seen MHA do something like this, where it made as little sense as to the proceedings as to why the hero course... Well, no, why the hero course chose this type of event. All the other events made way more sense in universe. Like the cavalry battle, it had a very clever aspect of working together as a team, sharing the points.
I think,
and then also having the 1 million point counter bit there. I know that sounds a little bit dumb, but it had an in-universe reason as to how people look up at number 1.
Right.
In this, this is just madness.
Well,
this seems like they are intentionally poking fun at themselves by saying that the event coordinator was like, I was tired, and I just threw this all together in a drunken stupor last night. Like, I want that to be what it is, because
that could be what it is.
I don't see how this helps them actually become better heroes.
Here's how it could.
Okay.
Now, this could be something that is unique to this year.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
If that's the case, they're preparing their students not just to fight villains, they're preparing them for basically like war. Because that's the kind of things that I see, right? Where you have large groups of people fighting large groups of people, and it's not so much about how you can fight one-on-one, it's about how you can work with the people standing next to you, right?
Sure.
Which also works kind of well.
Weren't the villains just defeated? Weren't the wasn't this a time of, like, woohoo, like we did things. I know All Might's been defeated and stuff, but I think if they were wanting to get more people, like if they were preparing for war, I really don't like that idea. But if that's what they were doing, they would lower the barrier of entry.
Yeah,
they would put it to be like let's get soldiers, and the heroes aren't soldiers, obviously.
Right.
I think maybe what they're doing, the only way I could see why they're making there be less people and doing this type of thing is a combination of, yes, they want to see who you can just work with, alongside there, but it's also it's all wrong. Like, they're not actually telling them what they're being scored on. So the 100 that pass the test are actually going to pass the test.
Right.
But passing the test doesn't make you any better than being a hero, or like make the 1440 not being able to go onto the
Sure.
Because remember how Aizawa was all like, oh, it was a clever ruse. It was meant to make you think about things a certain way. I think there's a very real possibility that the idea of having this type of setup forces people into hunter-killer mode. You go and you seek out and you bully one person into submission for your group one at a time. So you say, like, you have your group of 3 or 4. You go and you hit people that are weak one-on-one.
Right, that are stragglers and all that.
Stragglers, and that's not hero stuff.
Right, but
I think that's actually the opposite. That's something that goes, you did it this way.
Sure, they could absolutely do that. But if you think back to what they originally basically said was their reasoning for it, is that there's so many heroes nowadays, and everyone's basically being so on top of things that pretty much as soon as something pops up, there's a million heroes there and it's taken care of, right?
Oh, right.
So
that's
the
true.
idea is, if they do, it does make sense that people would form into those groups of 3 or 4, and then that could essentially be like, hey, there's a problem over here, right? Because the one person that's getting picked on, if they're part of their class, they might be a straggler, but if the class sees that, then they're like, oh, hey, we need to go take them out, right?
Okay.
And then that can basically, it helps teach them basically dynamic adaptability to a very changing situation, because you can't predict what's going to happen. There are way too many variables.
I'm with you. The other one that, like, if I'm a game designer and I'm looking at this, is kill trading, basically. Like, there's nothing to stop that in this instance here.
Sure.
Yeah. Like basically, like, we go in as a class, we go and grab, like, 5 of our number that we don't like. There's 15 of us. All right, we could divvy them up.
Yeah.
Like, it's like self-cannibalization. It's something that's just like...
When it gets close to the end and they're like, all right, we've gotten a bunch of kills. Okay, how many are left? Split the difference. All right, cool.
Yep. There's a lot of social weird things that can happen in this gigantic experiment.
There are. Here's one of the things, though, that's like kind of clever if you think about it.
What's that?
Who will want to be the first person to suggest that? Because it's very possible that if someone suggests that, the group will just be like, okay, well, we don't like you, so we'll take you out, right?
That's true, but you don't have to suggest it openly. You have to go to the one person who you think actually would be with you on this. And you slowly get a group up. And then suddenly you're like, yeah, we're going to split off from the group. And they're like, no, don't do that. Like, we think you should come with us. And then they go and grab that person, they're done.
And they could totally do that. And the only thing I think that's really keeping them from do that in this sort of situation is because everything is so chaotic, they don't really have time to, like, say, like, hey, let's, like, split or something.
Okay.
For the other classes, probably, because they aren't, like, being focused as much as UA is.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Basically, I look at this, and it's a gigantic social experiment. It's a battle royale.
Yep.
And in battle royales, they do it for people that are all killing each other. There's no social experiment there beyond just the fact that, I wonder how they're going to do it.
Right. Who's best?
Right.
Yeah.
In this, I want to see some clever trick of where the act of them focusing on this objective, what they're actually being graded on is a thing that's not just how good are they at going and seeking out people and hitting them with these little aerodynamic objects.
Sure.
It's then like, okay, who are the people that go and form groups? Who are the people that go and protect the weak? Like, who are the people that go and do these things? It's like the rescue points from the robots bit.
Sure.
That is kind of a Deus Ex Machina, but it's also a thing that makes more sense than going around killing robots. Is what makes a better hero.
And if you think about it here, since they're working towards their provisional license, this is one of the things where they'll want to not just see the fact that the person has capability to be a hero, but also what their capabilities specifically entail, right?
Sure.
Where they would fit best. Because there's a ton of heroes, right?
Yep.
So you don't want them, you don't want to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree.
Right.
So,
yeah, so all in all, it's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of craziness. It's going to be really cool. The final thing I wanted to bring up was the whole little lovey-dovey bit with Uraraka. That was hilarious.
Yep.
It was kind of out of left field, but...
It did seem a little bit like, the one time they have the girls all sit down and talk, they basically are just there to bring up, like, Uraraka liking Deku, and as soon as that's done, then... Yumomo's like, all right, let's go to bed.
I mean, they were bringing up other stuff, and that was kind of Toru going around and asking, like... what are your special moves and stuff? And it's like, okay, that's cool. Yeah. But then Uraraka's distracted because she's thinking about Deku. And
and that's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
She's sorting everything out. Yeah.
Right. I did think, though, it was really cute and funny to be how when she freaked out and, like, covered her eyes,
her face.
She activated her quirk accidentally and started floating away.
That was great.
But this is a notable improvement. And also shown in the episode, she can now fly, basically. She has no problems with her stomach.
Yep. She doesn't puke immediately.
Not immediately, yeah.
Right.
She has way more endurance in that. So that's awesome. The whole bit with, Chance seeing Deku through the window and stuff with the choir singing.
That the choir was what really made it for me.
That was hilarious.
Because it the whole thing was over the top already.
Oh, yeah.
And that was basically something where it was so okay, there's nothing subtle about this, right? They are being very self-aware about how, how cheesy this is, exactly.
Yeah.
And that just,
But in My Hero Academia, that just happened, and it's okay, I guess My Hero Academia is also extending its tentpoles as to what it is allowed to do, for it being a very tropey but fun show. Yeah. So looking forward to seeing where they take that, because
I would absolutely be up for it throwing some good old rom-com in there.
I'm totally.
I don't think it will.
As long as they stick along the lines of the slice of life stuff and they don't have it go down the dumb route with superhero shows or stories where you have basically the villain apprehending the love interest because everyone knows that that's how you get to the guy, or have it be a thing of where they acknowledge that they like each other, but their hero work keeps them serious and professional stuff because the writers can't handle writing an actual legitimate, romance story.
Or what they do is they make it so that it is completely one-sided, and this is where I could see them potentially going into, and it makes sense because Deku has a lot on his mind, right?
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I would just be like, oh no, because getting this time with Uraraka where she's starting to realize oh my gosh, I like Deku.
I'm crushing on him.
Yeah. That's awesome. Great. Love it. I would love to see a bit more from Deku of basically not necessarily him starting to crush on Uraraka or anything like that. Not certainly not right away, right? That wouldn't feel right. But basically him just thinking about what he thinks about Uraraka and stuff, and their relationship, even putting aside the whole idea of the romantic relationship.
MHA has a really good track record of keeping things pacing wise, moving along quite quickly. The thing in where this whole slice of life stuff comes into play, though, is running contrary to MHA's previous kind of pacing style. So if they want to shift to a little bit more of a slower style, then they have to give the time warranted to these kinds of character story arcs.
Right.
Otherwise, they feel like they're tacked on.
Yeah.
So go for it, and sprinkle it in the beginning. Don't dump it on us all at once.
Right.
That's cool.
Or all at the end, Yeah,
like, that too. Just realize that you brought Uraraka into the story as a character in a really powerful way, with her reasoning being to help her parents. And she had one of the best scenes in the whole dang show when she fought Bakugo, and that was just so good.
So good.
You don't need to relegate her to just the
girl that likes
Deku,
or the girl that likes the main character, basically.
Yeah. So just be aware that
but it can be great. So yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna see a lot of quirks, a lot of new characters, a lot of crazy battles and combinations, and hey, that's like our guilty pleasure when it comes to anything superhero related. It's like, what if Aizawa used his power to erase Toru's quirk?
Okay. Well, heteromorphics. But here's a good question. Here's a good question.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Tokuyami. His ultimate technique that he showed was using Dark Shadow to cover his body. If that covers the receivers, because Dark Shadow's been able to block the balls, right? The balls can't get through Dark Shadow.
Whoa.
So then couldn't he just cover them? Like that's one of the
his new ability is perfect for this.
Well, and here's the thing too,
Abyssal Black Body.
Right. Yeah. But also Dupla Arms guy.
Shoji.
What if he's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm gonna use 2 of my arms to cover the spaces that have them.
Yeah, it's laser tag,
Right.
Don't cover your receiver spot. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm just reloading.
Another thing that whoa, my brain just kind of shorted out there. No, that's what it is. So there's someone on our Discord who's been waiting for this. I did give a little Monoma impression earlier, but
we got to see Monoma again.
We got to see Monoma again. He was fantastic and stuff, but he has one of the most just inspired, hilarious gimmicks to his character. How dogged he is about just throwing all the shade at 1A.
Yep.
And I just love how he's all like, did you hear that the provisional license exam only has a 50% pass rate? How about you guys all just fail and leave it to the rest of us? Like, I love Monoma is just like, Are you guys gonna suck this time? Like,
and the way he has like his costume, and it's like, wait, that doesn't seem like to have anything special about it. And the explanation of like, well, since I can copy people's quirks, I figured I should just look cool, and just try not to be as eccentric or anything like the rest of you. This is him not being eccentric. But that one part in particular is one of my favorite Monoma scenes when he bumps Deku in the most like obvious way, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, your head was so large, I didn't even see you there," or or I couldn't help but bump into you. Like, do you ever think about like all these problems you get into are gonna like come and bite us in the rear at one point in the future? So I don't have the greatest Monoma impression, but I love just giving that face as he's like, what? You guys gonna fail or something? This is just show how like horrible class 1 is. 1B only had 1 student that had to take, remedial tests and stuff. That was you though.
Like, we didn't diagnose like what kind of mental state like is going on with this guy. I do like how there was a chink in his armor as he did the phew, that was very subtle and something they didn't need to do. But it's hinting at like, no, he is genuinely kind of has some inferiority complex issues with the 1A, for sure.
Well, and I mean, think about it. It totally makes sense because
with his quirk,
he has
to take from others.
He has to take from other people, so his own identity and sense of like maybe self-worth.
But wait, Jacob, it is copy, not steal. Alright guys, we've had enough rambling, enough goofiness for one reaction. But if you want to... Oh wait, we don't have early access. That's right. We'll be doing these every week. But if you want to watch full-length reactions of this, check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. If you do any kind of support with us, you can get on our Discord where you can chat with us about MHA, about quirks, about whatever, because we're coming out with these week by week as the show comes out, so you can talk with us about that there. It's pretty cool. So until later, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.